You're not going to be any bigger from one workout. You're not going to be any leaner from one cardio session. Like any progression when it comes to changing your body's composition is going to take weeks, months, years even, depending on what you're really aiming for. But in terms of actually noticing any changes go by, you're not going to see it. It's not the nature of things. It has to add up and accrue over time before you start to notice anything serious. If you see a drip coming from the ceiling, 2 drops of water, who cares? If you spill that on the floor right now, it wouldn't matter. But if it kept dripping and kept dripping and kept dripping, holy crap, man, you got a freaking flood. So that's where it's kind of on you to hold yourself accountable, because if you don't consistently put it in and keep yourself in the green of like, I'm 0.01% more whatever, and kind of pushing yourself towards making sure that whatever goals you're aiming for, you're actually putting in the work towards, then before you know it, you're going to be the opposite situation where every day you're getting 1% worse. That's a damn nightmare. Right? That's the complete opposite of what we're all kind of aiming for. If you're always hanging out with like 5 dudes and none of them are grinding, none of them are locked in, what are the odds that you suddenly will be? Not everybody is going to be particularly supportive of shit that you want to do. And you've got to kind of be able to have the balls to do what you want to do. That's where you got to be a little bit more fucking tough. If you got a clear view, if you have a clear image of something that you want to achieve, and you know that it's going to be cool, in what world do you need to listen to anybody else tell you, like, nah, don't do that, that's stupid. Right? And a little bit dicey, a little bit divisive to say, a classic fucking example. If you got a crew of dudes, every weekend on the regular, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're out. They're slamming, I'm talking blackout drunk, for the friend group, or the cliques that go and do that. How many times are you going to be able to hear, like, dude, what you drinking, bro? What the fuck? How many times do you want to really be around an environment while your buddies just tell that to you? How often are you going to be able to hear, like, dude, come on, just have one, So that's my thoughts there. And even if you are feeling a little bit tired, dude, there's a difference between being actually like exhausted and being, just kind of tired because you've been laying down in bed for a little while and you're not really feeling that motivated to get up. I've been lifting for a pretty long time, and I'll still have days, especially when I have a lot of, extra responsibilities during the day and I don't get to just chill and be perfectly prepared for the lift. I'll still have fucking days where I'm like, oh, jeez, I'm so fucking tired. But then you get in the car, you take your pre-workout, the caffeine starts to kind of hit you. And then even if I'm still tired after that, once I do my first 2 sets, I'm in the zone. It's usually on a leg day. Legs must just hit me a little bit harder. But, I'll do my first actual working set and I might still be out of the zone. But just after doing that one, by the time you've done one lift, you're the same dude you were before. You might be a little more tired now, but you're still the same guy. By the time you've done 4 lifts, same shit. But by the time you've done, 300, by the time you've done 1,000, compared to where you were in the beginning, you could become completely unrecognizable. Being big is a flex because you're literally walking around with the results that you had to earn, and it can't just be given to you. You can't just be given years of hard workouts, right? It's not like driving a fancy car or wearing fancy clothes or having an expensive watch. Things like that can be given. Whereas if you get a big set of biceps, no matter how you got them, it took you at least a fucking while. You gotta have something more. You're not meant to just wake up, go to work, come home and like chill and watch TV because you're bored from work, and then go to sleep and repeat the process. You gotta have more than that.
फूफाजी पकोड़े खाने आ रहे हैं
क्या? बी से बैंगन, बलून, भूतनी, बेसन. Whatever's on your mind, get it in 10 minutes on Instamart.
भाई फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस में ट्रेडिंग स्टार्ट करनी है, समझ नहीं आ रहा शुरू कहाँ से करूँ।
ग्रो से स्मार्ट ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग के लिए सारा डेटा प्रो ऑप्शन चेन पर है। टॉप ट्रेडेड पर मिलेगा इक्विटी एंड कमोडिटीज का सारा एक्शन एक ही जगह। अब ट्रेड एग्जिट करना हो या सेम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में री एंट्री लेनी हो, सब होता है बस एक टैप में। बड़ी क्वांटिटीज ट्रेड करो एक ही ऑर्डर से। और हाँ, इससे भी एडवांस ट्रेडिंग एक्सपीरियंस चाहिए ना, तो इनका वेब टर्मिनल भी है।
यार तू अब तक कहाँ था?
ट्रेडिंग स्टार्ट करनी है तो डाउनलोड ग्रो आज ही।
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
I'd rather go too far than not far enough. The only reward that you get from taking it easy is the fact that in the moment, it's easier. But if you want results and then you basically just catch yourself slacking off and don't do anything about it, then it kind of sounds like you don't really want those results. The groundwork of gains, as complicated as people make it, it's really as simple as diet, training, recovery. With the training too, it really turns me off when guys are, having such huge back and forth, like video arguments of reps in reserve and different training styles. The training style that's going to get you the best results? The one that you go the hardest with. You could take two guys and give them completely different workouts for 3 months. You know who's going to make the freaking most results? The dude who just trained the hardest. So all that's to say is, I wouldn't stress it so much. Should I do a 10-second meso-rep eccentric triple drop set? Or, pick a weight, go hard, get amped up to some Attack on Titan opening theme songs, get a pump and go home, man. The point isn't to go as hard as everybody else. It's to go harder than you have before, right? So to go from beginner to 3 months working out, you just made more progress than the guy who's been working out for, 10 years, because he's, odds are, probably close to his end state size-wise, and he's just maintaining where he's at. So as a beginner, you're literally making more progress than some of these guys who have been in the gym for years. That's the fun part about starting out and being fresh, lifter-wise. So just try to keep that mentality, because if you start thinking about, who has more gains, who's further ahead of me, that's going to throw you off. It's just going to fucking tear you down, right? Comparison is certainly the thief of joy, unless you're comparing yourself to yourself in the past, right? Now, I don't always think like this. Of course, I'm not a monk. So, I'm thinking of guys who are still ahead of me in freaking every endeavor that there is. But, if I'm really being objective with myself, I know all I can do is improve what I've got going on. And if I can keep making those improvements, then I get to enjoy. Can't emphasize it enough. Like coming into the gym, having a good workout, making progress, getting to see a pump that you've never seen before. That's the tip of the pyramid, right? And without the support structure and the hours of grinding, then you don't get to enjoy that kind of fun part, right? So don't get too envious of anybody in terms.
ये वीडियो का एंड है. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग. अब कल मिलता है.